We met in New York in 2002. Lois, I think, had heard about the company and seen images of the company, dancers in mid-flight, mid-air, because my work up until now has been quite ballistic and aerial and gymnastic.
I told him that I shoot digitally now, and I do live photo events, which is where you invite an audience and they watch a little mini photo shoot shot digitally, in which the images are projected, virtually simultaneously, and the reaction is always wow. I mean, people just they just get so excited when they see the frozen moment of someone jumping. Gary started to think that, gee, this could be the basis of a collaboration in which we made a dance together based on photography as a theme, and in which I would be shooting the live action on the stage as part of the show, and the images would be projected simultaneously with the dance, as simultaneous as possible, so that the people could see the dance and see the moment that they couldn't have seen because it's happening too quickly. And then the choreography he developed was really about photography, in the movement in the scenes and the lighting, all the special effects. It's really kind of about the history of photography, the process of photography, and the act of perception, the act of looking, my looking at the dancers looking at us, changing the time base, doing things in slow motion, showing a 2,000th of a second, showing these arrested moments, moments held while the dancers are frenetically dancing.
I went back to Australia and just started reading about photography and reading about the techniques of photography, as well as a bit about the history of photography, and also philosophical ruminations on photography and a few important texts. And then from that point sort of started drawing up a bit of a kind of almost like a storyboard of ideas, which is generally how I kind of commence making all of my works. There's a period of research, and in some ways I treat all of my works a bit like an essay. There's this period of research and then structuring the work from that conceptually, and then eventually that leads into the rehearsal period. I mean, the very first thing we did in rehearsals was Lois came over from New York, and we spent a week in the studio taking photos, and in the rehearsal studio. And really that was the key to the rest of the process in many ways, because we divined from that rehearsal period, from those photographic sessions, the manner in which we could work together, and also the way in which the choreography needed to head. And it was really interesting because the work prior to Held that I'd made was called The Age of Unbeauty, which is also quite ballistic and gymnastic, and there's a certain kind of brutality to it. And I had been wanting to give the dancers a bit of a break from that kind of gymnastic, ballistic material, and then it became very evident very quickly that indeed Held as well needed to be kind of within sort of that aerial dimension, and the dancers weren't actually going to sort of get the well-deserved break that they probably needed. Anyway, so Held unfolded as this incredibly aerial and ballistic work that really showcases the dancers kind of ADT who train very specifically for being able to kind of execute that kind of movement vocabulary in the air.